Things are getting interesting on the Irish and Celtic Music Podcast, show number 748. Welcome to the Irish and Celtic Music Podcast, helping you celebrate Celtic culture through music. I am Mark Gunn. I am a Celtic musician and also host of Pub Songs and Stories. Every song has a story. Every episode is a toast to Celtic and folk songwriters. Discover the stories behind the songs from the heart of the Celtic pub scene. This podcast is for fans of all kinds of Celtic music. We are here to build a diverse Celtic community and help the incredible artists who so generously share their music with you. If you hear music you love, please email the artists, let them know you heard them on the Irish and Celtic Music Podcast. Now, once again, I want to point out that most of the artists on this show are they're not signed to record labels. If they are, it's their own. There are some that are, but they're small, independent groups are the people that I prefer to promote on this podcast. That means that they rely on your support to keep them creating new music. It's gotten more and more difficult, so if you enjoy the music you hear, please show your generosity by a CD, album pen, digital download, or join their community on Patreon. You can find a link to all the artists in the show notes, along with showtimes, when you visit our website at CelticMusicPodcast.com. The Irish and Celtic Music Podfest is happening Sunday, March 8th, 2026 from 12 to 6 p.m. There's also an arts market that will be there as well. It's happening at the Lost Druid Brewery in Avondale Estates, Georgia. Spend the afternoon surrounded by live Celtic and folk music from Kinnfolk, the Muckers, May Will Bloom, and yours truly, Mark Gunn. Grab a pint, enjoy the tunes, and share the energy of a true Celtic gathering. While the music plays, explore our arts market filled with handmade crafts and arts and unique gifts from local creators. It's a celebration of music, creativity, and community all in one place. Come for the songs, stay for the spirit. We'll see you at the Lost Druid on March 8th. You can go to CelticMusic.org for more details. The festival was in part funded by some of you out there. I want to give a big thanks to Jem and Jan Sinkush, JB Ventersdijk, Emily Gaskill, Angela Rhodes, Rich and Leslie Maynard, Laura S., Andrew Hill, Jeffrey Meyer, Stephen Butcher, Andrew D. Huber, Scott S., Tony Buckley, Kathy, Dimitri Kelt, Del Christie, Juliet L., Saffron, Tracy O'Shea, Chris Doby, Renee Bayshore, Genevieve Slunka, A. Jackson, Rachel Barkus, Arcane R&D, Jeff A., Bernie Olson, and John Sharkey White II. Thank you so much for supporting this Celtic festival and the Emerald Wave compilation. There's a whole bunch of more thanks that you can find in the show notes for episode number 748 of the podcast. And if you head on over to our Patreon, you can also see some of the album pens that will be available at the Irish and Celtic Music Podfest on March 8th. There's a new ones designed specifically for Kinnfolk and the Muckers and May Will Bloom, and of course I have an endless supply of them. We kicked off the show with a slip jig by Irish Millie. That's from her album Grace. Next up is Alex Sturbaum with Happy to Meet, Sorry to Part, The Coachman's Whip, My Maryanne, and that's from his album, Slash.
couldn't run from a scolding hag and wife. But though he was dead, she gave him no rest. I've years more to say, and at my behest. Till you had on the rack, I bind your soul. You've not heard the soul barker through to the end. sleep of the dead at last, while the peaceful ocean kissed rock and sand. And the travelers searched the streets all night and found the hat lying by the curbside. Come along, old man, I'll carry you on, and together we'll roam free.
They said a man could strike it rich in Colorado. Streets with paper, silver, and with gold. Said there'd be a fortune for the taking. Ain't that the biggest lie they ever told? Now these blisters on my hands are bitter justice for the crime of having held you in my arms. With every breath I beg my God for mercy, to comfort and to keep you safe from harm. To everything there is a season, and a time for reaping what you've sown. And if there is another reason, then we'll find out down the far end of the road. There's not enough stars in all the heavens. Count the times I'd wished I'd never seen your face. 'Cause if in your heart you would ever dream of leaving, there's no one in this world to take your place. Now time may wear you down, cause you sorrow, and years may change the color of your hair. What point is worrying about tomorrow, when it's living in the past got us here? To everything there is a season, and a time for reaping what you've sown. And if there is another reason, then we'll find out down the far end of the road. Now I'm standing here just staring down this highway. Nothing's changed just as far as I can see. What's left is living with the memory of all those things I never used to be. To everything there is a season, and a time for reaping what you've sown. And if there is another reason, then we'll find out down the far end of the road. And if there is another reason, then we'll find out down the far end of the road.
After Alex Sturbaum came Kinnfolk with the Hat Song from the Knotted Circle, then the Goldfinch by Jenny and the Weazels live at the Jackson Theatre. It's from a single they released. And we finish up the set with Far End of the Road by Tiller's Folly from their EP of the same name. I want your feedback. What are you doing today while listening to the podcast? You can send a written comment along with a picture of what you're doing while listening. Email an audio recording of you performing live. I hope to use it in the podcast later this year. Send it to follow@bestcelticmusic.net. Joel K. emailed a criticism. I have been listening for 10 years. Please just keep it about the music. I love the music. I don't care about the politics. Those are your opinions that have nothing to do with the music. If I wanted to listen to libtard propaganda, I'd listen to NPR. Thanks. Thank you, Joel, for writing. I do strongly believe in our First Amendment right to free speech. The podcast has, since the beginning, stood with individual artists and against corporations and billionaires, and I've talked about it in nearly every episode since the podcast started in 2005, when I asked you to support independent music. That's what I'm saying, is support the independent artists, not the corporations. Since its earliest days, Celtic music has been a tool of fighting injustice and tyranny. Sadly, authoritarianism has come to America, culminating in the brutal murder of 2 American citizens, plus racist attacks by our government against citizens and immigrants alike. To be clear, this is just another billionaire grab for power. If speaking out against murder, hate, and injustice is too liberal, I highly recommend you find a different podcast to listen to. I believe it's my duty to speak up against this evil. While this is not and will not be a full-on political podcast, I am actively looking for modern Celtic rebel songs to fight back with music, and that will be happening in the next episode. I also recommend that you do what all people should do in our society: fight back with your wallet. ResistAndUnsubscribe.com recommends corporations you can stop supporting that are funding this government abuse. Corporations have no conscience. They only follow money, so consider unsubscribing. I know we can't drop all of these companies. I certainly can't, but I bet you can drop easily one of them. I know I did. I think I dropped a couple, actually. Speaking of money, I also know I will lose financial supporters of this podcast and the next one because of this response. But I can't sit quietly while people are being treated inhumanely. There are always better options. Even using the term libtard tells me you are succumbing to billionaire manipulation to dehumanize people instead of treating us with respect. We are all worthy of respect. You are worthy of respect. Each of you out there is worthy and deserves respect. So I encourage all of you listening to speak up against injustice. Contact your government representatives. And if they refuse to change, make them hear you in November when we go back to the polls. Now, as I was rereading this response a few days later, I realized that there's a lot to unpack, and I think I'm going to probably unpack a little bit more in the next episode. So stay tuned for some modern rebel songs, which I'm really excited about because I finally have Dropkick Murphys joining the podcast from their latest album. So stay tuned for that. Meantime, we're going to get back to the music. Next up is Sean Heely and Beth Patterson with Socair Dhòmhnaill Seall. It's from their album Stir the Blood to Fire. Go check out that album.
Socair the Dhòmhnaill Seall Wyddiad mi mwyrig hawl Socair fyddig hi gynol Liagad mi sgannau mi nart Brihan adwam ciawn molo Edd mohwl hag iagio Tadys adwam ein am bo Oedd y taclawn liog na'n swyn Tadys adwam ein am bo Gynioch modroch lion Smyrnach coni sinas mo Tylieg awn yn sydd nam bio Coni hi yn sydd roiar Sadys adwam ein am mo Mydda poddiad gwlar Isgwm peil gwgwl o grau Diolch ein nadian edd mofan Am balal i fraen y Sadys adwam ein am mo Giars cyrhaig Jan chwal yn dôl Gyda fe seiore crwy Ar mi heddi siofon dwy Malia gan ach cael yn col Sadys adwam ein am o Eich an wan belast Sahan doras gyn fi glast Jedd na crie Hig gynnist Noch geid volig Humar chach Zade satwam Dyn am bo Slan gubrach Ne braine Oedd chan eich elwmwchei Satan toshan Sjås an rhain Fwy hwy'n Ynam bo Sata satwam Ein am bo Ei mo rai Pare vel mo hinche tart Pare lekne Teun boan gad Mire doch et sail chil Richa natwan Jaun mo lo Et mo hul hagia kyo Sate satwam Ein am bo Ode taklaun Jochan suin Sate satwam Ein am bo
Diamond is a ship, me lads, for the Davis Strait she's bound, and the key is all a garnished with bonny lasses round. Captain Thompson gave the order to sail the ocean wide, where the sun it never sets, me lads, nor darkness dims the sky. So it's cheer up, me lads, let your hearts never fail, while the bonny ship, the Diamond, goes a-fishing for the whale. Along the quay at Peterhead, the lasses stand around, with their shawls all pulled around them and the salt tears running too. Don't you weep, me bonny lass, though you be left behind, for the rose will grow on Greenland's ice before we change our mind. So it's cheer up, me lads, let your heart never fail, while the bonny ship, the Diamond, goes a-fishing for the whale. Here's the health to the Resolution, likewise the Eliza Swan. Here's the health to the Battle of Montrose and the Diamond Ship of Fame. We wear the trousers o' the white and the jackets o' the blue. When we return to Peterhead, we'll hae sweethearts anew. So it's cheer up, me lads, let your heart never fail, while the bonny ship, the Diamond, goes a-fishing for the whale. It'll be brick both day and night when the Greenland lads come hame, with the ship that's full of oils, me lads, and money to our name. We'll make the cradles for to rock and the blankets for to tear, and every lass in Peterhead sing hush-a-bye, my dear. So it's cheer up, you lads, let your hearts never fail, while the bonny ship, the Diamond, goes a-fishing for the whale. So it's cheer up, me lads, let your hearts never fail, while the bonny ship, the Diamond, goes a-fishing for the whale.
joined the flying column in 1916. In Cork with Sean Moylan, Tipperary with Dan Breen, arrested by Free Staters and sentenced for to die. Farewell to Tipperary, said the guilty mountain boy. We crossed the pleasant valleys and over the hilltops green, where we met with Danny Lacey, Sean Hogan and Dan Breen, Sean Moylan and his gallant band, and they kept the flag flying high. Farewell to Tipperary, said the gouty mountain boy. The Dublin mountains, we were rebels on the run. Though hunted night and morning, we were outlawed but free men. We tramped the Wicklow mountains as the sun was shining high. Farewell to Tipperary, said the gouty mountain boy. I bid farewell to old Clonmel that I never more see, and to the gouty mountains that oft time sheltered me, to the men who fought for our liberty and died without a sigh. May the cause be ne'er forgotten, said the gouty mountain boy.
After Sean Heely and Beth Patterson came Lane to the Glen with Aughamore, then Sue Tillotson and Jim Cunningham with Bonnie Ship the Diamond and Celtic Society Quickstep. It's from their album Waterhorse. Dan Possumato was after that with Da I Wifey. It's from his album Antican Gorm. And we finished up the set with Derek Warfield and the Young Wolf Tones. That was the Gulty Mountain Boy from Let Ye All Be Irish Tonight. Thank you, patrons of the podcast. For nearly 750 episodes, I've been telling you thank you for supporting independent Celtic music. My goal has been to change the way you hear Celtic music. Early on, it was listening to MP3s. It continually evolves and changes, like all of us. But the podcast does survive on the generosity of generous people just like yourself. The more I look at AI and these giant corporations, the more I realize how important it is that we connect to one another. And this podcast allows us to do that. It allows us to connect with Celtic music lovers, Celtic culture lovers around the globe. And we've been doing it since 2005. So I want to thank each and every one of you for supporting the podcast, whether it is just listening, whether it is doing more, like financially supporting this podcast, like Caleb Cotter chose to do just recently when he became a member of the patrons of the podcast. You get a lot for your generosity, whether that's episodes earlier than regular releases, music-only editions for those who don't want to hear me rant, free MP3s, exclusive stories, and a vote in the Celtic Top 20. But mostly you get my thanks so much for allowing me to continue to share all this great music and all these great messages that we as a community need to hear. Thank you for being there. Here is your 3-step plan to support the podcast. Number 1, go to our Patreon page. Number 2, decide how much you want to pledge every month, $4, $12, $25, or you can become an underwriter for the podcast for $100 per month. And there's only one spot currently available. And number 3, keep listening to the Irish and Celtic Music Podcast to celebrate Celtic culture through music. You can become a generous patron of the podcast on Patreon at songhinge.com. The Far North is up next with Sailor and the Sea. It's from their album Songs for Weathering Storms.
As there anything left to say? Your edges fade away into a dream. You move around the room. This darkened afternoon, I'm over you. And then it all falls down. Yeah, it all falls down. And it gets faster as you're spinning me around. Then the siren starts to call. It's taking over me like a sailor to the sea, like a sailor to the sea. In the night I hear you there. I'm lost but so aware of this past. My heart, it starts to break. And the love we used to make, how could it last? And then it all falls down. Yeah, it all falls down. And it gets faster as you're spinning me around. Then the siren starts to call. It's taking over me like a sailor to the sea, like a sailor to the sea. Do you have the heart to make it through you? Without you I am lost. Please come home to me. Do you have the heart to make it through you? Without you I am lost. Please come home to me. Do you have the heart to make it through you? Without you I am lost. Please come home to me. Like a sailor to the sea. I guess I'm Irish, I got it from you. A temper like a boiling stew. I've been known to be a stubborn ass. I've gotten drunk a many times past. I guess I'm Irish, I got it from you. A temper like a boiling stew. But I'm
are some stubborn bulls, a group of fighting, brawling souls. Heavy drinkers, all these mix. Getting drunk, they get their kicks. Imagination of a leprechaun, shamrock luck to rely on. Wondering if there's a green fairy of magic tricks and makers of merry. I guess I'm Irish, I got it from you. A temper like a boiling stew. I've been known to be a stubborn ass. I've gotten drunk, oh, many times past.
myself beneath the southern dawn, without a dime, a job, or a partner. It seems as though my luck is all long gone. Now here I am, begging down on Peachtree. Will I see tomorrow? I can't really say. The only thing that I'm truly sure of, I'll be a bastard till my dying day. Well, I look behind at all the burning bridges. This place, my home will no more be. So I jumped on a train and headed nowhere. Whiskey Tango, you have made a fool of me.
Dublin street where the loyal drums do beat, and those loving English feet, they tramped all over us. And every single night when me da would come home tight, he'd invite the neighbours out with this right chorus. Come out you black and tans, come out and fight me like a man. Show you why is how you won medals down in Flanders. Tell them how the IRA made you run like hell away from the green and lovely lanes of Killishandra. Come let us hear you tell how you slandered great Parnell when you thought him well and truly persecuted. Where are the sneers and jeers that you proudly let us hear when our heroes of 16 were executed? Come out you black and tans, come out and fight me like a man. Show you why is how you won medals down in Flanders. Tell them how the IRA made you run like hell away from the green and lovely lanes of Killishandra. Come tell us how you slew those poor Arabs 2 by 2. Like the Zulus, they had spears and bows and arrows. How bravely you faced one with your 16-pounder gun, and you frightened those poor natives to their marrow. Come out you black and tans, come out and fight me like a man. Show you why is how you won medals down in Flanders. Tell them how the IRA made you run like hell away from the green and lovely lanes of Killishandra. Oh, the time it's coming fast, and I think the days are near when each English yeoman he will kneel before us. And if there be a need, you know our kids will say Godspeed with a verse or two from Stephen Behan's chorus. Come out you black and tans, come out and fight me like a man. Show you why is how you won medals down in Flanders. Tell them how the IRA made you run like hell away from the green and lovely lanes of Killishandra. Come out you black and tans, come out and fight me like a man. Show your wives how you won medals down in Flanders. Tell them how the IRA made you run like hell away from the green and lovely lanes of Killishandra.
After the far north came Shades of Green with I'm Irish from Conversations We Never Had. Then the Muckers with Whiskey Tango. It's from their same titled album. The Muckers, of course, will be at the Irish and Celtic Music Podfest on March 8th, along with Kinnfolk, who I played earlier in the show. And we finished up the set with Rogue Diplomats with Come Out Ye Black and Tans from Whiskey Picnic. I hope you enjoyed this week's episode, and if you did, please tell a friend. And remember to vote in the Celtic Top 20. This is our way of finding the best songs and artists each year. You can vote for as many songs and tunes that inspire you in each episode. Your vote helps me create this year's Best Celtic Music episode. You have 3 weeks to vote, so go cast your vote right now. We're going to finish up with the High Kings. This is Red is the Rose. It's from their compilation Decade Best of the High Kings. Thank you again for listening. I'll be back again next week with some rebel songs with a twist. I look forward to chatting with you then. Sláinte.
Come over the hills, my bonny Irish lass. Come over the hills to your darling. You choose the road, love, and I'll make the vow. And I'll be your true love forever. Red is the rose that in yonder garden grows. Fair is the lily of the valley. Clear is the water that flows from the Boyne. But my love is fairer than any. 'Twas down by Killarney's green woods that we strayed, when the moon and the stars, they were shining. The moon shone its rays on her locks of golden hair, and she swore she'd be my love forever. Red is the rose that in yonder garden grows. Fair is the lily of the valley. Clear is the water that flows from the Boyne. But my love is fairer than any. It's not for the parting that my sister pains. It's not for the grief of my mother. It's all for the loss of my bonny Irish lass, that my heart is breaking forever. Red is the rose that in yonder garden grows. Fair is the lily of the valley. Clear is the water that flows from the Boyne. But my love is fairer than any. Red is the rose that in yonder garden grows. Fair is the lily of the valley. Clear is the water that flows from the Boyne. But my love is fairer than any.
Support for this program comes from Dr. Annie Lorkowski of Centennial Animal Hospital in Corona, California. Support for this program comes from international speaker Joseph Dumond, teaching the ancient roots of the Gaelic people. Learn more about their origins at sightedmoon.com. Support for this program comes from Cascadia Cross-Border Law Group, creating transparent borders for more than 25 years, serving Alaska and the world. Find out more at cascadialawalaska.com. Support for this program comes from Hank Woodward. And the executive producer for St. Patrick's Month is John Sharkey White II. Thank you, John, for supporting the Irish and Celtic Music Podcast through our Kickstarter and for the entire month of March. The Irish and Celtic Music Podcast was produced by Mark Gunn, the Celt Father, and all of our patrons on Patreon. The show is edited by Mitchell Peterson with graphics by Miranda Nelson Designs. Visit our website to follow the show. You'll find a link to all the artists played in this episode. Todd Wiley is the editor of the Celtic Music Magazine. Subscribe to get 34 Celtic MP3s for free. Plus, you'll get 7 weekly news items about what's happening with Celtic music and culture online. Best of all, you will connect with your Celtic heritage. Please tell one friend about this podcast. Word of mouth is the absolute best way to support any creative endeavor. Finally, remember, clean energy isn't just good for the planet, it's good for your wallet. Solar and wind are now the cheapest power sources in history. Too many politicians would rather protect billionaires than help working families like ours to save on their bills. Real change starts when we stop allowing the ultra-rich to write our energy policy and run our government. Let's choose affordable, renewable power. Clean energy means lower costs, more freedom, and a planet that can actually breathe. Promote Celtic culture through music at CelticMusicPodcast.com.